posh boarding schools, luxury gyms, and a marriage worth more than a literal king. It seems life really ain't so bad for Pippa Middleton. Though Pippa Middleton wasn't quite born with a silver spoon, it didn't take long before her parents, Carol and Michael Middleton, were able to give their kids a privileged upbringing. Carol and Michael benefited from a trust fund apportioned between the surviving relatives of Pippa's grandfather, which was reportedly worth the equivalent of £2.9 million in 2014. They had also founded their party supplies business, Party Pieces, in 1987, eventually becoming millionaires from the lucrative endeavour.
It was a very clever idea. It filled a gap. This is a very affluent area, and there were lots of children, lots of people in the area that just wanted that service.
Their business revenue, bolstered by the inheritance, enabled them to send their children to some seriously fancy private schools. Pippa attended several expensive schools during her youth, starting with St Andrew's Prep, where prep fees start at £7,100 a term and rise to £7,820 from Year 5 onwards. She also attended Down House School, which again comes with some hefty fees, starting at £16,955 a term. When Pippa and Catherine were older, they moved on to Marlborough College, which charges parents a whopping £30,000 a term. Speaking to Tatler, a parent of a former Marlborough pupil divulged that Carol, to a fault, ensured that her daughters were the picture of affluent respectability. They said, "There was always something slightly galling about having your children at school with the Middletons." It's common for parents to buy their children cars when they're old enough to drive, but those cars rarely set them back hundreds of thousands of dollars. After Kate Middleton married Prince William in 2011, Carol and Michael Middleton began to worry that Pippa Middleton didn't enjoy the same protections as her older sister. Accordingly, they reportedly splurged on a $144,000 car for their youngest daughter, one that had the added benefit of being bomb-proof. A source told The Sun at the time, Carol and Michael have taken a raft of measures following advice from one of William's most trusted bodyguards. That isn't the only swanky car in Pippa's collection either. She also owned a BMW Z4, which cost her £40,000, although she suffered a minor scandal in 2011 when the vehicle was clamped by bailiffs. Then in 2014, Pippa, her mum and her brother James Middleton faced backlash after it was revealed that they'd scored a lucrative ambassador deal with Land Rover, which entitled them to discounts on the company's vehicles. The following year, Pippa was spotted driving a £30,000 Range Rover in London, possibly purchased with said discount. For many years, Pippa Middleton had a reputation as something of a party girl, but in 2011, she set out to prove that she could make a real name for herself. The result was the party planning book, Celebrate, which gave readers advice on how to perfect their hosting game.
As for the book, the reviews have not been kind.
Sadly, the book was a flop, with just 2,000 copies sold in the first week. But this was likely no big deal for Middleton, who was given a colossal advance of £400,000 by Penguin. In fact, several publishers reportedly got into a bidding war over the book. An insider told the Daily Mail she had to deliver a synopsis that was sent to a number of publishers under a strict confidentiality agreement. There were some serious offers, but Penguin stumped up the most cash. While Middleton faced criticism over being awarded such a huge advance for a party planning book, she was also attacked for coming across as woefully out of touch. The book was published during a period of significant austerity in the UK. The Guardian argued that it was in poor taste for the socialite to suggest spending tens of thousands of dollars on posh soirees at a time when many Britons were living paycheck to paycheck. Pippa Middleton is all about staying in tip-top shape. As she detailed in her Waitrose magazine column, exercise is one of her major priorities in life. She wrote, "Lifestyle changes can make a huge difference to body, mind and soul." So it's no surprise then that she spends a small fortune on her gym membership. Middleton is a member of the luxury Kicks Gym, which is located in the upscale London area of Chelsea. Kicks is an exclusive members-only gym that boasts a concierge, spa and even a nail lounge where gym-goers can get a fancy mani-pedi after their workout.
We ask our members, can you change? Each and every one of us can make small and subtle changes that are appropriate for a healthier lifestyle.
Individual membership starts at £615 per month, minus joining fees. Meanwhile, those seeking a more rigorous workout regimen can expect to fork out at least £4,000 for the Athletic Performance Programme. In 2018, the Daily Mail reported that Middleton had upped her workout regimen after becoming pregnant, which was undoubtedly costing her even more money on top of her membership fees. Pippa Middleton dated a number of prominent men in her time, but she found both love and a fortune when she met James Matthews, who is worth a colossal amount of money. A hedge fund manager and former racing driver, Matthews made his fortune as CEO of Eden Rock Capital Management, an investment advisory firm that he co-founded in 2001. Back in 2017, David Freeman of Wealth Quotient told E! News his stake in Eden Capital and the money he potentially has taken out over the last 16 years could make him a demi-billionaire, or close to a billionaire on his own merits. Matthews has only grown richer since then. He has since been estimated to be worth over $2 billion, though this has by no means been confirmed. If true, however, it would mean that he and Middleton are actually richer than King Charles. They may not be royalty, but Pippa Middleton and James Matthews' wedding was enough to make a prince and princess blush. The Fairytale ceremony, which took place at St Mark's Church in Englefield in 2017, was initially expected to cost £250,000. It has since emerged, however, that the cost was much higher, between $500,000 and $1 million. The bride-to-be arrived at her wedding in a 1951 Jaguar Mark V, the likes of which are sold for up to £80,000 on vintage car sites. For the reception alone, the couple paid tens of thousands of dollars to erect a giant glass marquee in Middleton's parents' backyard. And then there was Middleton's majestic wedding dress, designed by Giles Deacon and made from bespoke silk and lace. The gown is believed to have come with a price tag of around £40,000. The happy couple was criticised over their extravagant nuptials, however. On the British TV show Loose Women, host Ruth Langsford lamented that the wedding expenditure was equivalent to buying a home in the UK.
It's a house. It is a house, absolutely.
Meanwhile, guest Katie Price, who is notorious for her own lavish spending habits, branded the cost disgusting. Following their ritzy wedding, Pippa Middleton and James Matthews embarked on an equally lavish honeymoon. In 2017, the couple set off on a trip to French Polynesia, Australia, and New Zealand. In French Polynesia, they stayed at the luxury Brando Resort, which charges lucky vacationers over $3,000 a night. That's a drop in the ocean for the couple, however, as they then spent over $14,000 a night to stay at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Sydney, Australia. As you might expect, they also enjoyed fine dining, travelling by private plane to the exclusive Cottage Point Inn in New South Wales. A 5-course tasting menu at the establishment is a cool $160 Australian dollars, while an 8-course tasting menu will set patrons back $200. At the time, the restaurant's owner told the Sydney Morning Herald, "It's chaos. We're surprised and flattered they chose us." According to onlookers, Middleton and Matthews were accompanied by personal assistants during their trip. Altogether, the honeymoon is believed to have cost a minimum of £120,000 at the very least. Like her sister, Pippa Middleton has a penchant for designer garb. The sisters count Alice Temperley, Erdem, Amelia Wickstead, and Roxanda Ilinchik among their favourite brands, all of which come with colossal price tags. For instance, in 2011, Middleton cemented her status as a fashion it girl when fans scrambled to buy the $1,500 dress she wore to a Temperley fashion show at London Fashion Week. Middleton has previously worn the brand for her sister's wedding reception, with Temperley telling Vogue that she was thrilled the socialite was repping her label. The designer said, "Pippa came into our store in Colville Mews and she fell in love with the long Arabia dress. We had about 4 fittings in our private bridal suite in the Mews. We decided on the colour and artwork panels together." Throughout her honeymoon, Middleton also dressed to the nines, wearing a succession of high-end outfits and swimwear with a cumulative cost of around $25,000. In addition to her expensive wardrobe, she favours luxury accessories. Appearing at Wimbledon in 2019, she wore a selection of designer sunglasses amounting to almost $1,000. In 2018, Pippa Middleton and James Matthews welcomed their first child, Arthur. Though the UK has universal healthcare via the NHS, Middleton opted to give birth like a billionaire. She booked a stay at the private Lindo wing of London's otherwise government-funded St Mary's Hospital. The most exclusive stay at the upscale maternity ward cost £7,500 a night.
I never had a problem. Any ridiculous question I had, I always had an answer. Everything from the midwives, everybody was very helpful.
The Lindo wing is where Middleton's sister, Princess Catherine, also gave birth to her 3 children. Clearly, it's no ordinary maternity ward. Guests are lavished with massages, satellite TV, and even afternoon tea and champagne. Middleton once again utilised the services of the Posh maternity unit when she gave birth to her daughter, Grace, in 2021. However, it remains unknown whether she gave birth to her second daughter, Rose, at the Lindo. Prior to marrying James Matthews, Pippa Middleton was already living in some seriously swanky properties. In 2002, Carol and Michael Middleton bought a 3-bedroom condo located in the wealthy Chelsea area of London for £780,000. Pippa lived in the property for free for many years, at one point sharing it with her sister. Far from a bargain to begin with, the condo was sold for an eye-popping £1.8 million in 2019. Upon marrying Matthews in 2017, Pippa moved into his £17 million Chelsea mansion. Spread across 5 floors, the extravagant abode boasted 6 bedrooms, a private gym, and an underground cinema. They also spent over $1.5 million renovating the property. Then, in 2022, the couple sold their Chelsea home for almost $30 million and moved to the countryside. Settling in Berkshire, they bought a sprawling 32-room Georgian mansion for £15 million. As an accompaniment of sorts to her 150 acres of land, Pippa also has access to Bucklebury Farm, a petting zoo that she and Matthews purchased in 2020 for just under $2 million. The couple later turned it into a deer and safari park. It seems Pippa now lives in an abode that would make even the most gaudy royals jealous. Long before she was the wife of a billionaire, Pippa Middleton loved jetting across the globe. In 2012, she and her sister, Princess Catherine, vacationed in the Caribbean island of Mystique, where they reportedly stayed in a £15,000 a week villa. In her early days as the sister of the Princess of Wales, Middleton also spent a lot of time visiting New York City. During her time there in 2012, she stayed at the Carlisle Hotel, where she may have paid up to $13,000 a night, before flying by private jet to an exclusive resort owned by almost billionaire André Boulache. She grew so attached to the Big Apple, in fact, that there were claims that she was considering purchasing a $17 million home in the city. That never came to pass, however, as Middleton soon wed James Matthews, with the couple opting to remain in the UK. But since being married to Matthews, Middleton has enjoyed numerous luxury vacations. In particular, she often travels to St. Bart's, as Matthews' parents own Eden Rock, a lavish resort with a $3,000 a night suite named after their family. Vacationing in St. Bart's in 2024, Middleton was living the high life as she relaxed on the beach with her kids. And she dressed to impress too. During her vacation, Middleton wore over $2,000 worth of designer swimwear.